Welcome back to our channel. Lately I've been getting a lot of messages on my Instagram from people who either is coming to Japan or wants to come to Japan. So I thought it would be a good idea if I make a video sharing with you my recommendations if you're planning to travel to Japan. My first recommendation is cash. You should always have cash with you. Japan is a country that still uses a lot of cash. Even though with what happened recently, there's more places that are accepting credit cards, but still there's some stores and restaurants, bars, attractions that you need to pay for tickets that are cash only. So yeah, I would recommend you to always have some cash with you. SIM card or portable Wi-Fi. You should get your phone unlocked before you come here, so you can buy a SIM card that are especially for tourists that doesn't have a phone number but has internet. And you're going to need that because here in Japan you might think it's a really technological country, but it's not that easy to find internet, and trust me, you're going to need it, especially if you're using Google Maps to get around, which I really recommend. I'm going to talk about that later. You can get either the SIM card that you cannot buy in convenience stores. You can get them at stores like Big Camera or on Amazon. I think that's the best option because everyone that comes here can have their internet in their own phone. Because the second option is portable Wi-Fi, that is something like this. The thing about this is like a lot of people can connect to the same Wi-Fi, but if you're in a group of people and someone wants to do something different or you want to get separated for some reason, there's a group of people or a person who is not going to have internet. If you want to get this, you can rent this on the internet and pick it up when you arrive to Japan in the airport. And they give you an envelope, so when you leave you just like turn it off, put everything in the envelope and put the envelope in the post office things, and that is really easy. Power bank. This is really important. This is going to save you because you're going to be taking a lot of pictures and videos and using Google Maps, and your battery is going to run out, especially if you leave early in the morning and you planning to go back to the hotel or wherever you're staying at night. You really need a power bank. It's not easy to find coffee shops, restaurants or whatever that has sockets so you can plug your phone and charge it. I don't want to be in the situation where you have to use Google Maps to go back to your hotel or wherever you're staying and you don't have a battery. Another thing that this is not completely necessary, but I think it's good if you have, is hand towels. Something like this. I always carry one of these with me because here most of the toilets don't have paper to dry your hands once you wash them, and they have the things with the air, but because of what happened, not all of them are working right now. I don't know, I've seen a lot of TikToks where they like take a sample of that dryer and then get to the lab and see like what it's in there, and it's not pretty, it's kind of disgusting. So yeah, you should have one of these. JR Pass. If you're planning to travel a lot around Japan, there's this pass that you can buy that allows you to take as many trains as you want, including Shinkansen, which is bullet trains, for a certain amount of time. That could be like, I think a week, I don't remember, but I'm going to leave all the information on the description if you want to check it out. But the good thing is that sometimes it's cheaper than buying the tickets by itself, and also it's way more convenient because you don't have to buy each ticket by itself. You just get that one and use it to move around. So there's a website that you can calculate where you're going and how much that will cost, so you can see if a JR Pass is worth it or not. Again, I'm going to link that website on the description. And one thing you need to know is that if you're planning to use that pass in Tokyo, you can only take the JR line trains with that pass. If you're taking any other train line, you need to buy the ticket. It's really useful because, for example, if you want to go to Osaka and then come back in Shinkansen, that's kind of expensive. I think each way is something like around $150, and the pass for 7 days, it's around like $300, something like that. The first time that I came here as a tourist, I did bought the 7-day pass and I traveled around Japan, and thanks to that I saved a lot of money on transportation. So if you don't want to buy the JR Pass or only planning to come to Tokyo, I really recommend you to get one of these cards, which could be Suica or Pasmo, that are the transportation cards You can buy them in the station, in the machines, and don't worry, the machines are in English. The only thing is that these cards you can only buy with cash. And if you want to charge them on the machines, it's cash only as well. And those cards you can also use to pay in convenience, in arcades, and some stores as well. And if you finish your trip and you still have money on the card, you can give it back in the train station and they will give you the money. Medical insurance. Doesn't matter where you go. If you're traveling, you should definitely have medical insurance. You don't want to be in the situation when you need to go to the doctor or something happens to you and you don't have medical insurance, because at least here, doctor-related stuff, it's kind of expensive. And also, you need to find a clinic that speaks English, and it's kind of complicated. So it's easier if you have your insurance and you can let them know what's going on and they will recommend you to go to a certain clinic. Next one is Google Maps. It is amazing. You can search where you are and where you want to go, and it's going to show you which station you should go, how to get there, which train line you need to take, which platform, at what time. If you need to transfer, it's going to show you where and which line you need to transfer to, and also which station are you arriving and which exit you need to take, and once you're out, it's going to guide you to the location you want to go. And it also shows you how much the whole trip is going to cost. The next app that I recommend is Google Translator. Probably a lot of people who comes here doesn't know how to speak Japanese. And the truth is that in Japan, people doesn't speak much English. So if you have Google Translator, it's easier to communicate because you can type whatever you want to say in your own language. It translates to Japanese, and there's an option where you can play that text out loud, so the translator will speak. You can also use the microphone and speak on your language, and it will automatically translate to Japanese. The other great function that it has is that you can take a picture and it will translate the text on that picture. I use that a lot. It's really convenient, and you also need internet, so get a SIM card or the portable Wi-Fi. Usually when you go to restaurants and you order some food or some drinks or whatever, they're going to bring you the food, and also they're going to leave in the table like a paper with everything you order. And when you finish eating, instead of calling the waitress and paying at the table, you take that paper and pay at the cashier. The other important thing is don't leave tips. Here it's not necessary to leave tips, and if you do, it's kind of like an uncomfortable situation, and probably they're going to follow you and tell you like, hey, you forgot the money. So don't do it. There's no need to. When you're paying, and this applies for a lot of stores, not only restaurants, you will see they have like a tray. You should put the money there. You shouldn't give the money directly to them unless they don't have that tray. And sometimes they also give you the tray to put the credit card as well. Another huge thing here in Japan is that people love making lines. They make lines for everything. For getting into the bus, for getting into the train, and restaurants, whatever. They make lines for everything. So be careful you don't cut in line and you respect the line. And when it comes to trains, you wait in line, and when the train arrives and the doors open, if you're getting in the train, you should line on the sides of the doors in the platform, so you leave the space in the middle for the people who's getting off of the train. You wait for them to get off, and then you get in the train. That's how it's supposed to be. And talking about trains, big no is don't speak loudly. You can speak, but quiet. You shouldn't listen to music without earphones, and you shouldn't listen to like WhatsApp audios or send WhatsApp audios or making phone calls whilst you're in the train. The trains here are really silent, and a lot of people sleeps in the train, so you shouldn't disturb that peace and quiet. But yeah, you can talk like in a low voice. It's okay. And also there's a lot of signs in the train that says please put your phone in silent mode, so it doesn't like make a lot of noise if someone calls you or sends you a message or whatever. Make sure to respect priority seats. I mean, here in Japan and everywhere in the world. Some carts in the train has priority seats. You're going to see them because they're usually different colors and has like stickers that says priority seat. In Japan, there's 2 keychains that if you see people using that, you should stand up and give them your seat. One is this one that is more someone who might need it because of health issues, and this one, which is the pregnancy keychain. So if you see one of these two, you should stand up and give them the seat. If you're walking in the street, there's some stuff that you shouldn't do. One, smoking. There are specific places designated for people who are smoking, and if you do smoke, you should go in there, because Tokyo is a city that has a lot of people. And if you're smoking and walking around a lot of people, maybe you can burn someone. Second one is eating or drinking and walking. There are specific situations where you can do that, like festivals or in those kind of places, which is okay to do that. But if you notice, a lot of people, what they do is they buy the food in the stand, then stand next to it and eat it there. Because if you're eating and drinking and walking around, you might hit someone and get the food on them, or you can spill something on the street. And another good reason for not walking and eating is that there's no trash cans in streets in Japan. It's really hard to find one. And also here they're big on recycling, so you cannot throw anything in any trash can. Food stands usually has their own trash cans, but separate. It's like plastics and burnables and such. So if you buy the thing, you stand next to the store, eat, you can throw the trash there. But if you walk and you leave and you eat, then you have to bring the trash with you until you get home. Of course, you can walk around and drink water or like have some coffee. It's a pretty common thing that happens here in Japan, and is that people reserve their seats, especially in coffee shops, with their belongings. If you walk into a coffee shop and you see an empty table but that has a hand towel on the top, that means it's reserved. You shouldn't sit there. Places even expect you to do this, to take your seat first and then go and order. Because as I mentioned before, Japan, especially Tokyo, has a lot of people, and usually coffee shops and those kind of places are really busy. So if you buy something and then you don't find a place to sit, it's kind of like inconvenient. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you find it useful. And if you did, please remember to subscribe and leave a like. And if you know someone who is coming to Japan or is planning to come to Japan, you can share this video with them. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.